So my name is Bianca Prachyl. I'm the formulator and founder of Bliss Molecules. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. So this is a live recorded event, just so you know that as you come in. But I am here today to hold space for Black women in the cannabis realm. So whether they are licensed, ancillary, looking to transition into the cannabis space, and maybe they're trying to figure out how to get into the industry, this is what we're here for today. So women of color are going to come together and collect, and we're going to share some knowledge. We're also going to sesh. Seshing is the best part of this thing. So I actually got in like a little bit late. I was too busy in the photo booth. So make sure you take your picture. I was like, oh shoot, I got to start. Like it's just after 2 o'clock. I got to get in here. How are you, Jasmine?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic.
This is my first event kind of on this side of things.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty, I've been with Tokeativity and going to all their events since their very first one, that when it was in the house. And I'm excited for all this. I'm a big advocate for Black women, men in general, getting into cannabis. There's been a lot left out, my son's father included, going to jail and being left out on things due to minuscule amounts of cannabis.
Yeah. Damages families.
Yep. And so it's a great thing to see. And there's been a lot of inequality.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It is. And that's a part of us, me just holding the space. It was probably about maybe 6 or 7 months ago that I was here at an event, and it was in the height of summer, and everybody was asking, what can we do for women of color? And I happen to be the only woman of color in that room, but that's kind of happenstance. But I took that opportunity to answer the question. And I'm like, are there spaces for Black women? Like here, I know there's LGBTQIA, and I know there's deaf and hard of hearing, and there's all these other sections, Latina, Latinx. And is there space for us here? Has it ever, been approached? Had it existed and just maybe fell through? Something that had never happened before here. So I took that as a responsibility and something actionable that I can, get in here and get together. So we can know each other and build upon each other. And Tokeativity has been so amazing. I really don't think I would be where I am without them, like especially here. So it's a blessing, and I love that they have not only invited us to the table, like they've given us our own table, and it's legit. I'm really appreciative to be here. I love it.
I love Sam and Lisa. They are just genuinely really good people.
Absolutely.
And the feeling you get and the uplifting, and with just all the women in our just the space, and regardless of anything, it's just you have a place for everyone to kind of come together.
Absolutely.
So network and be like, I love it.
Yeah. What do you do in the industry, Jasmine?
So I have an ancillary company. I have a trim company, Kaya Harvest, with my mother, who she's around here somewhere. I think she's in the networking room. And then I've been in the industry since 2013. My cousin opened one of the first medical dispensaries in Portland.
Awesome, in Portland. Okay.
And, I left there, and me and my ex, we started a store and a grow. And it was a Black-owned, female-ran company.
Right.
And we had a lot of, I hired, from everywhere. It was great. It was nice because it was a rural area, and it brought a lot of attention to that area and a lot of understanding. It opened a lot of talk. And then that kind of separated from that situation, and now we've started investing in Tokeativity and still have the trim company.
Fantastic. So what's the minority climate like in Oregon? So you're in Oregon?
I'm in Oregon. Yep, I'm in Portland.
What's the racial disparity look like there? So are there a lot of people of color in the industry? Do you know if there's any specific programs that are out there and available for them?
See, I think it's different for me because I am a part of that community. So I'm, as far as my friends group, my background, there's not a lot I know a lot of people. I know a lot of Black growers, dispensary owners, but not in general. No, as a whole, no.
Okay.
And in the Portland metro area,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple here sprinkled there and there. Yes. And then just again from my social media community, my friend group, the where I grew up, and
Okay.
just I was, yeah. So it needs more. That's why I was happy with all this. And there's been a few things that's tried to get off the ground and going, and they just really haven't, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
As far as groups like this and things helping moving, but it needs something behind it to keep it steamrolling ahead. And
absolutely, it does.
The support. And that's where I'm glad that Tokeativity is really stepping up in this realm, and because they're nationally out there.
Globally recognized. Absolutely.
Globally, yeah, actually. Globally.
Yeah, they're globally recognized. We are globally recognized because you're here too.
Yes.
I invite you to the women of color that you are familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know that people like me exist, mm-hmm. and places like this exist, and women like Tiffany Watkins, Miss Kindness Ramirez, mm-hmm. they are Black women pillars in the industry, and they are, I honor them as much as they honor me. But I invite you, Jasmine, to spread the word. Miss Kindness and I, we have on Clubhouse, if you're on Clubhouse, we do a chat there just about every Friday morning at 11. Okay. And it's a group of Black women that get together. I'll find you. I'll message you.
Yeah.
We get together. But absolutely, like we get it up and popping in that group. And it is, we always say like, happy fucking Friday, like what's your session stuff? And we keep it pretty casual. Mm-hmm. But we also we like to get some knowledge in there too, because we have to have something just to we want them to leave with something and have a reason to come back yet. We talk about pitches. That's what I wanted to talk about today, mm-hmm. as more people enter the space of getting our pitches done. Hey, Miss Kindness.
Did somebody say Miss Kindness?
I know, Miss Kindness, getting our pitches ready and having that skill set, even in a casual manner, so that when it comes up on the fly, we can take those one or two nuggets and we can practice them, mm-hmm. and start to get that out into the industry, because we try to come about it natural and holistically and flowy sometimes, but we've got to have those pinpoints. We've got to have those points to be able to establish that story. So even focusing on our positive aspects of what we bring to the industry, mm-hmm. how to parlay that into a story that we could literally get it out to somebody in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you got that. Don't shoot your shot, or shoot your shot, get your 3-point thing together. And when somebody on the fly, you could say, I am this is who I am because of this. And then this happened, and this happened. And this is why this is the company that I'm coming to you with.
And this is what we're asking for. Don't forget the ask.
Yep.
Yes.
We're going to do that as well as people come in. What is your ask and your give of the community? As much as we can take, there's always something that we can give. And even if we think it's something so minuscule you can call me at 3:00 in the morning if you ever have a question. That's a give. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have an ask like, hey, can you promote my business?
Yeah.
But if you need a shoulder to come on, you can call me at 4:00 in the morning and I got to answer for you. Those type of relationships is what we're trying to forge and bridge and build in this group. So I love being here. It's a blessing.
Oh yeah. It feels good.
What's up, Miss Kindness? What you got today?
Oh, I'm just chilling here. I thought I'd sit on the couch today and relax, because I'm going to be here for the whole 4 hours, vibing, going into rooms, networking. I've been working on my pitch for Club Kindness TV, because it's new, right? This is an expansion of the work I've been doing, and it really finally is going to encompass everything. Finding the words, this is the problem we're solving. This is how we're doing it. Making sure that the nomenclature is what I want it to be understood as. I mean, I'm in this critical process right now. So I'm just appreciating the conversation I came into.
I need to pull it up, but I was going to read it out. There's I'll pull it up right now. It is let's see what happens to my, I don't know where my screen goes. Never mind. I'll find it on my phone. But there's a Pixar pitch, and it kind of starts off as once upon a time. And that's how you can start. You can start it with once upon a time, but it's once upon a time there was this. And
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, of how your story of how your story started, or of what the problem was. Like once upon a time, I was living a very comfortable life, or once upon a time, I was stricken with aches, pains, or disease, and then this happened, and because this happened, I was able to do this, and then this happened, and that's what led me here. And it's a very boom, 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 boom. But you can take the once upon a time 1 minute, and because of that, I came here another minute, and then this happened 30 seconds, and then this happened 30 seconds, and this is what brings me here today. Your 1 minute wrap up. That's a 4 minute, and you've got a boom, a boom, a boom, and a boom. I'm going to put the link in the notes under the comments just so that people could find it, because I thought it was an amazing way to be able to break something down very simple.
That's terrific. I mean, we need to be, I just got off a phone call, actually, a consultation where I was like, look, you know, you've just told me quite a bit and you haven't sent me an NDA. And, you know, and so let's do that. Like, let's get that in place. And she should be here today. I think Maddie might be in here, but but talking with other women and being willing to share that information, like, hold on, sis, let me help you protect yourself, because this is how we're going to do this. Yep. You know, Bianca, you know how we are. We're so passionate about just sharing information. I don't know. I'm a teacher. It's like you're supposed to give it away.
Exactly. It's the nature of my way. From the time I've grown up to even my experience in essential oils, it was always my mission just to share. And it's not my knowledge helps build somebody else up. It doesn't make them better. We both get better together.
Absolutely.
I've always said, like, the world's like, life's not built on a curve. If I help somebody, it doesn't make them better than me. It makes us both stronger.
Yeah.
Simple philosophy.
Hi, Maps. I don't know Maps.
You missed the introduction on IG Live today.
Yeah. I was in a speaking of business and women and knowing your pitch and having the right foundation to your organization, I was in a very critical board meeting this morning during that time, dealing with that, like making sure our foundation is strong, because some folks try to shake it up.
Yep. Yep.
So I missed it. I'm sorry, Maps. Excuse me, but hello.
Oh yeah, I just had myself on mute just in case I have an air conditioner, so sometimes it's loud. Also, I think somebody's mowing, but I think they stopped now. But yeah. Thank you. Yes, I am the owner of Cannatunes. It's a multimedia cannabis storytelling project that I've been working on for the past. I used to be a cannabis farmer, but for the past 5 years, I've been making music with plants, including cannabis. I have BioTunes, which covers all the plants, and then Cannatunes I keep separate because I actually receive a lot of grant money for the BioTune stuff. Haven't yet won any grant money for cannabis music, but someday. And that will happen. And yeah, so I'm super passionate about using the music as a medium to express animistic perspectives about cannabis and nature in general. So I'm really about helping people dig deeper into the spirit and the essence of cannabis, and recognizing that each individual intelligence to offer as their own individual being. And when you're consuming that cannabis, you're consuming that intelligence, and that intelligence has been affected by the environment, the ecology, the farmer. And I grew up growing as a cannabis farmer with a lot of Northern California woo-woo stuff for sure. So that definitely got me into the mindset of like, okay, these plants have their own individual energy and frequency and being. I know when I was a cannabis farmer, and so were all my other fellow farmers, these were their ladies and their babies and their women, and they were highly protective. They knew everything about them. And a lot of that experience is never expressed to the consumer, right? I hate even using that word, the patient, really. And so when the patient is consuming the cannabis, there's this whole world of experience that they're missing out on to a certain extent. And capturing the live energy of the plant, I think, is is an extra healing effect that you can add to your cannabis consuming ritual ceremony use. So I've been encouraging people to go on my website and use the cannabis music as an added benefit, or almost like a companion for when they're using their cannabis.
The website in the chat box, please, Maps. I want to go to it right now.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And you can check a lot of it's on Instagram. You can see most of it's on there, and then I'll put the website on there too. And yeah, so that's what I've been mostly doing. And the plants have been teaching me how to make music. I don't have any music background. I come from an environmental law, biodynamic farming background. And so having that sort of like nerdy scientific stuff has been, and then the compilation with the California woo-woo stuff, it's all been like a journey that was prepared in front of me, and I'm just walking the steps in front of it. So yeah, I love working with farmers and learning their stories about their ladies and their plants, and then also land races. And I want to start tracking down like specific genetics and start putting that information in there as well. And also embedding cymatics, using the sound visualization to show the intelligence within the plants, because sometimes people need a visual aspect. So yeah, I'm always open to, what I'm working on right now is basically series of dispensaries that want to have some sort of installation inside of their dispensary, so people can go and listen to their cannabis before they purchase it, and then have that music to download to listen to while they're consuming it at home.
What time are you going on today?
I think it's at 5:45. I'm on the East Coast, so I think that would be 8:45.
Well, no, the event ends at
well, it'll be 2:45.
Yeah, 2:45. Yeah, you may be on at 2:45.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm on. I know one of the last sessions. I'm like basically one of the last sessions.
Okay.
Before it all closes out.
You are something amazing, and the passion that you have for the plant is something that I never could even fathom. Yet I recognize the importance of it, and I love that. Like, I love that about you, and I love that about our community, that I never would have even fathomed that. And it's like, just, it's you, it's yours. Like, everybody's got a specific niche. It's amazing.
For sure. But I do feel like, I feel like people do recognize it and they do know it. It's just more like they need to have it verbalized, because when you come home and you're like, you just got off of work and you just take that first like hit or whatever, and you feel that total change, that resonation, that like sense of
absolutely
difference, that ultimately is that intelligence embedding itself into your body, right? And so that interspecies collaboration that you're now having with that plant is what you're experiencing, right? You just don't have those words or those sounds, those verbalizations to say that. But I think internally people know this. And then when people use psychedelics, which is basically what I'm going to be talking about in my chat, I'll talk about plant music, but I'm also going to be talking about like the secret history of African uses of psychedelics.
Awesome.
And that is something that I think that people can get more of a handle on when we talk about intelligence, because when they take ayahuasca or they take yage or ibogaine, they often say that I met an entity, right? And then that they had a conversation and they had this experience and they left, right? And so just because the cannabis doesn't have that visceral experience, that doesn't mean that you're not having a conversation, right? It's just not as like in your face hardcore, right?
Yeah.
She's a gentle dreamer, so yeah, I like to take people through, I'll do a small guided meditation just to start it off with, and I'm going to help people sort of like visualize and the spirit and the essence of how they think of cannabis. If you could think of cannabis as a being, what does she look like? What's her color? What does she smell like? You know, what's her so like entertaining those thoughts, I think, is really great way, not just for us as individuals, but also us as companies to sort of like really take a step back and think about, oh yeah, like how I was saying in the live, like how does the cannabis really feel about this industry, or like how did they want to expand into our lives?
Yeah, they're speaking to us, and they've got something to say. It's the plant belongs to them. It's a female plant, and it's our duty to listen. I love how you're expanding on that, and you're going to open up that knowledge to everybody. Man, I'm amazed. What can we in the Black community, what is your ask of us, besides being able to open up into other dispensaries and share your love and your passion? What can we do for you?
What I would say is start having these conversations. I mean, not just for me, but just for everybody, really. Just start having these conversations about cannabis as a being, not as like an object or some kind of consumer product that we're going to whatever, you know, and stuff. And it's, I think once we start speaking about and approaching it like the alive, intelligent energy is, then we'll be able to start normalizing that type of conversation, right? And I think inherently with this cannabis industry, and I think it's really interesting that in many ways, you know, it was almost like a burden upon us to a certain extent to get that medicine out to people. Absolutely. And now we're being left in the dust in terms of like that industry growing, right? That's why I really wanted to do this Canatunes thing, because it's a different sort of experience. It gets out of the monetization to a certain extent, and it gets back into that heart-centeredness. So even when we're like just smoking a blunt on the stoop, I'm from the Bronx, bro. I know what it is. Like I've done plenty of that. And so like just like taking that small moment to appreciate came from the farmer that grew it, all the energy that's inside of it, and then that joy, that happiness, that beauty that you feel inside of you, just really holding it in your space, because it is ephemeral, you know, it does leave us. That's why we smoke more. But each moment that we have with that is a gift, you know, and then really holding it's it's like a small sacrifice that the plant is doing to give us that experience, right? And so just being appreciative, making space for that plant, I think will just almost like bring more cannabis into your world anyways. And I think of them almost as like spirit or fairy beings, and they're always accessible, and also the energy of the person, the farmer, is inside of that plant too.
Absolutely. The hands that touch it, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Soul food tastes better when soulful hands have touched it.
100%. And I even had some farmer friends of mine that were all women. And once the cannabis fruiting mode and budding, there was no men allowed in the farm whatsoever. Only women. Period. And I've also heard situations where this is in India, and also I've heard in parts of Jamaica where once the cannabis is ready to be fruited and stuff, it's only allowed to be touched by and handled by pregnant women.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like it's like the pregnant
relationship, absolutely. Vibrations. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Damn. Well, if all this heard, which one do you think you return to the most, and why do you return to it the most?
That's a great.
Rain
That's a.
sound that you.
I think it depends on the space that I'm really trying to get into. The sativas definitely have like a hyper pop sort of sound to it, and then the indicas are more jazzy. But you know, it's funny actually. Some of the best songs that I've actually heard, which sounds totally random and crazy, but is from these plants that hermed out. They went hermaphrodite.
Okay.
And and they actually they would sound like space chasms, which I think was like every time I work with a plant that has hermed out, it sounds like they're coming from space. It's just like a lot of like you know. So I always come back to that, and then honestly, a lot of the indicas, because I'm an indica girl, anyways. And I try to use it in my guided meditation. Indicas definitely bring me into that sort of like state, allows me to like enter into meditation quicker.
Yes.
But I definitely had a blue dream, one that we put some binaural beats behind. Yeah. And so I want to start getting into that again too, is like some binaural cannabis beats. Like
I have a binaural beat. I want to say it's 400. I want to say it's 400 megahertz. But when I turn that on, I never finished the 5-minute track that it is.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
It's surprising. Like I can't believe that it takes me down the way that it does, but it's just that vibration that, and then I'm just down. And if I do, the indica that I have right now is a Cosmic Kush. And when I do that with the binaural beats, it just is so cerebral and so just relaxing that I usually have a struggle falling asleep. And
really?
Hours. Like I could be up until 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's just my norm. But by incorporating the binaural beats with the strain that I'm more terpy now. I'm getting more into terpenes, even though I've studied them for forever. But just incorporating the terpenes with the strain and doing the binaural beats with it, it's been awesome. How it's been really it's been really beneficial. Like I didn't realize that pairing that. And then when I heard you this morning, I was like, oh shit, she knows what she's talking about. Like whatever your show is, I'm going to fucking be there to hear it. Sonia, I see that you are down there, but I'm not sure if your camera's working. Are you on mute or what you doing, girl? I see you. Hey! Press the mute button. You're going to see on the board the mute button.
I saw that.
There you go. Hey, girl.
What is up? My name's, I'm not Sonia. I'm Melody. Sonia is my partner back there.
Very good.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. How y'all doing?
We are well. I was going to ask you, Maps, what are you smoking on today? What's your sesh?
Well, I got some.
What do you got? Yeah, Melody.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No. Go ahead. Whoever. I got lemon cake. I'm here.
I got some garlic cookies. It's like a nice indica. The first time I ever even like went into that sort of like strains and different strains off of that. It was like lemon garlic, and I just fell in love with it. It like really brought me to like the tempo where I wanted to be at. It was so nice. And it's so hard to, once you find something and you're like,
oh yeah,
I'm just going to get a little because I'm not sure. And then you fall in love and you go back and they're like, what are you talking about?
I'm a strain chaser. And if I see something, I comb I have my dispensaries and I look all the time of like, okay, what's in stock? And if I see something, I'll buy a fucking ounce of it. If something comes like, don't disappear.
Yeah, every time I buy it's like I buy a lot sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I'll buy like an ounce at a time, and then it's like 4 days later, and I'm still like, you know, and then it's gone.
Because it's so good. I know. I'll like put it into like shake or something and make joints just so that I could tuck it away.
Yeah, no, I
Because once it's gone, it's gone.
I destroy it. It's just, if it's in my presence, it must be consumed.
Exactly. So what do you do in the industry?
Oh, what? Hugo.
Oh, I was just gonna say I have these. I was just gonna say I bought. So I'm in Georgia right now, but I was in Florida on vacation before I was there, and I got this weed from my friend's like weed guy or whatever. He's like this 21-year-old kid, and I was like, "That's cool, man. You should go sign up for one of those dispensaries because you're like 21 and it's like blowing up. You should get in that. You don't have to be selling weed out of your car no more." You know, so I was like, tell him about that. And so he sent me, sold me this lemon dosey, which I've been seeing forever. And he was like, because I'm from California, you know, that's where I was coming from before and stuff. And, you know, he's just been living in Florida. He's like, yo, I got that rapper weed, bruh. I got that rapper weed. He's like, I'll give you a deal. So I've been smoking up. Like, but that lemon garlic, man, I haven't heard that in a long time. It's so fire, man. That's awesome. You have that.
Never had it. Sounds delicious.
So good. So
yeah,
I go ahead.
Oh no, go for it. I was just saying that I spoiled myself because I used to be a cannabis farmer. So I used to like just have bags of strains, just be like, oh, I had a whole medicine cabinet with just jars of different strains, you know.
Perks and perks.
Now,
yeah.
Now I'm just like, oh, I gotta call the guy or whatever.
Like, when you gonna be there? Man, I've been here, man. That Taco Bell? Man.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in Georgia right now, so it's still like a little, yeah.
I feel you on that. The last time I was in Georgia, I was at an Afro-punk concert.
Oh, hell yeah.
We saw Internet, NERD.
No way.
It was just like one of those things. It was just like awesome.
That's really amazing.
Everybody was smoking there. Mm-hmm. I was kind of scared because I'm from California, but I'm living in Portland, Oregon right now. And I mean, I feel like when we're smoking at like an outdoor event, you kind of want to be as far as inside as possible so no one can get to you, you know? But 100%. Everybody in Atlanta was just like, and there's this black cop walking by, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Let me roll this shit up.
Oh my God. I was like, I don't even, it's okay. But I can't wait to go back to Atlanta. It's a little bit, I was thinking about going back for Pride in October.
I thought that would be great.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is my first time being like living here. I'm in northern Georgia. I'm in a town, small little place. Like literally, there's a supermarket. But it's gorgeous out here. There's 22 acres. I'm building out a tiny home, like a rental thing. My friend has an RV business out here. You want to do that?
That's dope.
And now you're gonna make it out of hemp? Hempcrete. Big tiny homes.
Yes, I want to do that 100%. The thing is I've been basically just like slowly but surely, like, you know, making friends with the people at the zoning board and stuff like that. Just popping in my face and being like, hi, I'm not telling you what I'm doing yet, but you know. And it's mostly that, because I tried to do that in California, and so the county I was in was just not having it. So
what county? I have 20 acres in Lake. I have 20 acres in Lakeport. I
was in Modoc County.
Okay.
You're in Lake County, or?
Yeah. Yeah, Lakeport is in Lake County, absolutely. So I've got 20 acres there, and so I have a skincare business. And that's the purpose of me growing vertically or integrating vertically, just so I can have that umbrella. My husband has distribution and he does processing, but I have the actual grow. So we're building it up. but I obviously 20 acres of hemp is going to be way more than enough to, you know, take care of my brand.
We should definitely talk.
I need like this much CBD. I'm growing this much CBD.
Right.
So I'm looking for ways to be able to connect with women, especially women of color, in the space, because I have a shit ton of hemp. I'm going to have a shit ton of hemp left over, and textiles.
Yeah.
So I have a link for you, and I'm not going to interrupt you, but I'm just going to say I'm part of the Global Hemp Initiative, and my friend Mandy Kerr runs it, but she's definitely got some like people for you that can use a lot of the extra stuff or whatever, or like whatever. I don't know.
You guys, okay, like
we're really
I have to put this out. I have to put this out in the universe because I've been talking to people about it, and at this point, I'm just like, I don't have to be a part of it for it to happen. So I'm trying to find people that are growing hemp, that are recycling hemp, and then I'm trying to find these manufacturers that will break it down and process it and make it into pads and tampons for females incarcerated, so we can grow that business. So when they get out, they can get a job making pads and tampons. So it's just kind of like this universal of like, you can get a job when you get out. You can pay your probation because you're going to have to pay your probation. You know, like, I think it'd be awesome. It'd be so cool. And then those companies want that Green New Deal look, you know? So it's just like
100%.
Get it back. It should be free.
You have spoken it.
It should be free.
I personally am going to jot that down, and I'm going to connect with you because it is your idea that I also want to help facilitate. I do the same thing. Just because I think of it doesn't mean I have to do it. Sometimes just speaking it puts that idea out. Oh, very good. Miss Kindness, if you see in the chat, she was on stage before you got here. But if you her and you see the chat, Miss Kindness, she has a connect for you.
Dope. Okay, cool.
So definitely connect with her. She's amazing. We do a Clubhouse chat. At 11 o'clock.
Let me check.
We only miss it if something gets like super busy.
Oh, the AC's on, I think. So yeah, you can hear the AC.
Clubhouse, connect with us there. But yeah, I've got a lot of hemp left over, and I'm sure I could fairly convince my husband to process it into something that I need. And the name of my farm is Khaleesi's Flower. My daughter's middle name is Khaleesi, and I parlayed myself into the cannabis space because she was having fever-related seizures. She was 4, so they couldn't classify them as febrile. So they just kept giving her ibuprofen and acetaminophen, and it wasn't fucking working. And it was literally the worst 72 hours of our life. Like, of course, they would take the fever down, but it would shoot back up again, and she would have the seizures again. And I was in a space where my husband was legacy. I had cannabis in my lap. I had a kilo of isolate in my lap, and I knew intuitively how to make a tincture. Just it made sense to me. It's a fat. Put it in coconut oil. It should work.
Yes.
So I had it sitting for a while, and I gave my daughter 2 drops, like literally 2 milligrams of CBD that I made, and the seizures were done, and they never came back. So I'm like, I fucking did something for my daughter. It's her fault that I'm fucking here. So the farm is hers, and she can do whatever the fuck she wants to do with it. She turns 8 this year. She can do whatever she wants with it in 10 years, let's say. But making tampons and serving the community, serving women of color in the community that have been damaged and they need a way to be able to make a life for themselves is something that I 100% have to help you with in some sort of way.
Oh, dude, it means so much. It's coming from a place of like, you know, going through that trauma, having that family member that you won't be able to see for a while. And then it's like talking to people and being like, oh, I just got out, but I really got to get a job, but I can't get a job. And I have to pay my PO or else I'm going to have to go back. And it's just like the never ending story of just always.
I can absolutely relate to that. I lost my brother that way. He was beat up by the police, and we got him a lawyer to fight it while he was in jail. And then he won that lawsuit. He won $15,000. But then that money was waiting for him when he was getting out, and he'd never had that much money in his entire life. So we did our best. Dude is so smooth. He's such a smooth talker. He had no ID, so we were like, oh, he can't cash it anyways, right? So like, whatever. No, tell me how my brother cashed this $15,000 check with his food stamp card. Yes, ma'am. And the bank too. And his social security card. He was like, bitch, give me my money.
Give me my motherfucking change, girl.
4 days later, unfortunately, he passed away on a drug
Oh
overdose.
my gosh,
Because
I'm sorry.
it falls out. That money, and he got himself a hotel room, got himself robbed, of course, and went back for more. And but yeah, like we thought that this was going to be his like way out from not going back in and out of jail, being a black man in New York City. I mean, fucking A, right? And and then yeah, we lost him. So I have 100% compassion and support for what you're trying to do, because that time when they get out, it's such a critical time. And there were so many times when he would get out, my brother was just like a repeat offender for and he would get popped for like dumb stuff, like buying a nickel bag and stupid stuff like that, drinking outside of his apartment on a Sunday, like stupid stuff, 6 months here, a year there, 6 months here, a year there. But there would be like literally just 3-month gaps in between, because it'd be like, it's literally within that 3-month span. It's like they just fall back into old patterns, you know what I mean? And it's just like so easy to capture them, especially when your rap sheet's so long. It's so easy for them to just be like, repeat, this is what you do, like, here you go.
Yeah. And then you get mad. You get so frustrated and mad, and then they're so far gone that it's just like, what is the fucking point of fucking telling you? And then it's like, you can't change anybody.
No. I had to come on screen to see you, Sonia. I'm Miss Kindness. I was the one.
I'm sorry. I'm Melody. Right. I'm actually the founder of Sway CBD. I roll hemp blunts.
Ah, hi.
Oh.
You're talking about something. I felt inspired to come on and say hello and introduce myself to you. And I'm currently in the process of building what I'm dubbing a pro-operative business model for our television network that is employee owned and allows for revenue share for all of our contributors. So I'm trying to be really responsible with that. And what I hear, and I'm on another project where we're working with specifically to provide programming and jobs for the formerly incarcerated to come out into. And so when you started talking about this idea, I was like, oh my God, like that's a brilliant cooperative business model, because one of the greatest challenges that those who are formerly incarcerated face when they get out is finding a freaking job. You have to have a job, right?
You got to pay your PO.
Yes. And so building something that could be worker owner, assuming there wouldn't be a conflict with hemp, like working on a farm in that way, being a part of building something that supports the system they came out of and walking into a job is pretty fucking brilliant. So I said, fuck, Bianca. I have a potty mouth, and my kids have been on me about just find another word. They're like, Mom, find another adjective. And I'm like, that's the one I fucking want to use, So
come here.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm the mom. So anyway, yeah, I just want to introduce myself and say, yes, please send me an email. I want to connect you.
Yes, absolutely.
With a dear friend of mine, Felicia Carvajal. And, just see, and much like Bianca, I want to contribute to supporting that project in any way I can. I don't want to overpromise what I could do, but it's something I'm already working on. So as far as like maybe aligning you with the right people, the lawyers who specialize in cooperative, who know this population, I could make some of those connections, I think, for you pretty easily.
I don't know if there's a closer prison, but my farm is 2 hours away from Folsom.
Dude,
Wow.
I know exactly.
I don't know the demographic of whoever works there, but I literally looked on my phone and my farm is 2 hours away. So
Yeah.
2.5 hours away through Sacramento. So
I got someone in Chico, one of my family members in Chico right now. She
Very
was like, I literally, she called me from jail like a month ago. And I was just like, oh my God. Like my sister 3-wayed it for, it was just like, I haven't talked to you in 15 years, you know? And then she was just like, well, guess what? You're not going to see me for another 45 years. You're going to see me next year. Getting out. And, you know, this person has been around, you know, Centoya Brown. This person has been around a lot of people that have been in that system, left that system, died in that system, and continue on to be a recurring person in that system. And I can't wait to just put an end to dumb policies that make people feel like they're not human.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking dumb. How do you think people got here anyways? Through a penis? Come on.
I know.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I met you guys. You all are so beautiful.
As are you. We all are.
Beautiful souls.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
You're welcome. You're welcome, Melody. Anytime you are welcome. We are everywhere. We're here second Saturdays, but Miss Kindness, everyone here, we rally and we get together. And Maddie, she showed up. People love Maddie as well. Like
y'all.
It's a whole vibe here. It's a
Right,
whole vibe.
It's a crew.
Yeah. And Maddie, did you hear me talking about you earlier?
exactly. That's why she got here. You hear my fucking name. What you saying?
I heard you ringing that bell, putting up the cannabis symbol up in the air. I saw it. I'm here.
Oh my gosh.
I got to finish my story before I go on.
Please, please.
What? I think there's a ghost in my house.
Is honey.
Then there probably is, yeah. If you
It's probably my ancestors like, you're not done? Okay, honey.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
telling
all
you to
over
speak
my
on
house.
it. That's what they're telling you. They're telling you to speak on it. They said speak on it.
finish your story.
You ain't got nothing in your mouth to keep you from talking. Speak on it, love. Well,
This is the place to be here, you see.
I gotta do the story today.
finish your story. Yes, I want to hear this. Keep
I gotta
going.
do the
I love
story
it.
today. I'm talking about equity in cannabis and the journey that we've been through with like my business. I'm pretty excited. I'm putting myself out there, really talking about my mental health and the trauma that goes with being Black, having cannabis, and then being that stereotype of being tokenized for being Black and having cannabis. So I'm pretty excited, and you know, I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve, but I cover it with my jacket.
I wear my balls in my chest and I cover them with a bra. Okay. Just had to say that. Love you.
He brought it.
I need to write that down.
Get a light. Can a mom get a light?
Y'all, don't get Maddie started. Don't get Maddie started. We will be crying.
Welcome to the Black Women in Cannabis event where we are talking business and being totally professional. But that is exactly what
I'm here to bring the pain.
Y'all are too silly. Y'all are too silly.
I'm saying your journey is impeccable.
What time is your room? Are you
Think we're going on at 4:45. I gotta double check.
okay? So we'll come in here. We'll hear your story then.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous.
Don't be.
I might have to do like large print. So I'm
Girl,
like,
I gotta be on stage here pretty soon, and I'm nervous every single time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do conferences a lot and do talks and everything like that. I would say feed off that nervous energy. It just brings more like excitement to the space, and it shows like it a little bit when people know that they can see a little bit of vulnerability and stuff like that. So
Right.
don't be afraid to show that.
Yeah.
And be just more human.
Yeah. I love feeling people's energy like that when they're nervous. It feels like someone's kind of like misting you with like water, you know, that sensational feeling of just like, oh, this person's nervous, and no, I'm nervous, but I have to fart, but I'm gonna hold it in.
Girl, you better let that gas out before your ass be out. Come on now.
I'm like, I need to go poop on stage. Like, let me hurry up. Like, it's.
Okay, so I too do a lot of public speaking, right? I get nervous every single time, and I always poop right before. So, I mean,
You gotta get the shit out. Literally.
When you're like,
Literally.
am I almost on? Hold on.
I get the sweaty hands and shit. Like,
For real, shaking from
For no
side to
reason.
side. Like,
Bubble gutty.
good, like, stop playing. Oh my goodness. Brings back that Betty Wright song where you're like, tonight is the night. You like, damn, for real? Is this really about to go down? Let me get my ass on this stage before I can't get up no more. Cottonelle saved it.
Oh my god!
You guys are too silly.
Right.
I just, since this is like a people of color affinity thing, I just wanted to, I had one little shout out that I think you guys might be interested in. And then also I just had like a general question. The shout out is for, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the PGM1 conference. It's the People of the Global Majority for Nature and the Environment. And I think there needs to be a deep intersection between the people of color in the cannabis industry and the people of color who are working towards the environment, because I think that in many ways they're having the same conversations. And I think engaging with each other's communities could be super helpful for networking. And we have a monthly queer BIPOC affinity space, and we also have a Black affinity space that happens every month. And if you look up the PGM1 conference, all the information is listed on their website for the affinity spaces, and you'll get email updates, and there's really wonderful people on there. And then
the images of this leadership panel on this website, it's just like make my heart go. I mean, just y'all go to the website. I just looked real quick, like the leadership panel. Those faces. I was like, oh, that is what representation looks like.
All those people are super powerful people, and I was lucky enough to speak at their 2019 conference in Philadelphia, and I did a talk on magical geography and ceremonies for scientists. And I met some really wonderful people from all over the world, and yeah, just super great. And then my question actually was, I wondered if anybody here had any experience like lately or even in the past just doing the basic trim work like during the season, and like, has anybody been able to work for a person of color in those situations?
I got nothing.
And the only reason why I even asked that is because this past summer was the first time that I ever worked for a person of color, and he's a Black man, but he's from Brazil, so he's not African American.
So are you asking traditional market, or are you
either way, you know what I mean? And when I basically this summer, when I realized, I was like, oh, holy crap, you're the first person I've ever worked for that's like a person of color. And it just
before the
like to me that I'd never, all the 10, 12 years I've been doing this, having my own farm and all this other stuff, like I just never realized that. And I wanted to start working on making inroads to connecting like Black people to Black farmers whether it's underground or not. You know, mine was underground.
I'll say that before 64, every person that I worked with in the space was a person of color. I came into the biz through my brown brothers, who are some really large farmers, still traditional in California, killing it. Now, once we moved into licensure, they did not come because there was no benefit for them to do so, because they're still killing it. They're all people of color. He employs people of color. They're big, and they're all people of color. Post 64, every entity I've worked with, every licensed agency, they're all white owned or larger, with maybe some black face as their SE partner that they put in some toxic deal. I'm speaking specifically to LA's cannabis scene.
Sure.
So that's interesting that before it was legal, all I worked with were people of color. Now,
don't you miss the days when you walk into a California dispensary and you show them your rec, and there's a guy standing at the front door and staring at you? You know, get in, get out.
Yeah.
It was scary.
That's the in and out situation right there.
Is this someone's house? It smells like tamales in here.
Shit, let me know where they at. I could use the tamale.
That's why I was asking. I know. I was like, that's why I was asking, because the hot sauce smells so good.
I'll see you later.
Oh, very good. I'll see you. Oh, yes.
Bye.
We'll come see you, Kiara.
Bye.
I'll see you guys. You guys are beautiful. I'm going to connect with every one of you.
Yes. Our time here is done. Yet I will hang out here for just a little bit longer, because everybody deserves time to be able to wrap up their conversations. Yet the main stage is opening back up. So you are more than welcome to head back over there. You will see me in and out of the rooms as well. And I put the pgm1.org in the chat for everybody who's still here in the audience. My email address is in there as well, bianca@blissmolecules.com. I invite everybody to drop your email address or any social media tags that you may have available, so that we're able to connect with you. And if you want to, you can click on the People's button on the right, and from there you can see who is in the session right now, and you can send chat messages to them as well. So definitely by the time you leave, or before you leave and before the room gets closed, make sure that you check your chat box to see if anybody has wants to make a connection with you. And don't forget that there's the networking stage. You have an opportunity to meet with people, connect with them business one-on-one. And that's, this platform for the next 3 hours, it's going to be golden. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to leave the space open to finish stuff up, but thanks for being with me.
Love you. And I love your beautiful skin. Your skin is so beautiful. I love you.